Every Vue application starts with at least two things, some data and a template. You can think of a template as a representation of how you want the structure of your application, the HTML, to relate to your data. In other words, rather than hard code data about cats, for example, into the HTML, you'd use placeholders to tell Vue where to place the data within your HTML. For example, let's create a div with an ID of Hello Vue. This element and everything nested within it is what we will hook up to Vue as a template. Inside the Hello Vue div, I'll create an h1. Normally, we'd put some text between the tags. But because this is going to be a Vue template, instead of normal text, we're going to add placeholders that will tell Vue where to place the data. In a Vue template, we can use something known as mustache syntax to tell Vue where to display data. It's called mustache syntax because it uses curly braces, which look a bit like sideways mustaches. I'll create a placeholder called title. Save, then open up the app.js file. Every Vue project begins with creating a new Vue instance with a constructor called Vue. The instance can be optionally saved to a variable. The Vue instance takes an object. And this object takes some options, some properties containing important information about the data and methods we'll be using with our templates. We'll learn about a few options we can pass to the Vue instance, but the two main things we need to get started are L and data. The L property, short for element, is how we tell Vue which HTML element to attach the Vue instance to. In our index.html, we've already created a Vue template with an ID of Hello Vue. So that's what we'll pass to the Vue instance as a string. Notice that I've included a hash symbol here. We're telling Vue that we intend to use an HTML element with an ID of Hello Vue as our template, so Vue should attach or mount itself to that element. The data property on the Vue instance is an object where I can define which data I want to connect with which placeholder in my template. In my HTML, I created a placeholder and called it title. So now in my data object, I can add a property called title. Now I can set title to whatever I want. Let's save and open this up in a browser. Instead of seeing the word title in curly braces, we see the value of what we've set as the title in the Vue instance. So whatever I've defined as title in my Vue instance is what we'll see when the page is displayed. Let's go back to app.js and change the value of title to Hello World in all caps with some extra exclamation points. Save and refresh the page, and you'll see that the title has changed. Associating data with a template, like we've done here, is a simple example of a concept called data binding, which basically means that whenever the value of this title property changes in our Vue instance, Vue will automatically update it for us in the template. As we continue to learn Vue, it will become clearer why this is a convenient and powerful way to organize your code. It's easier to see how the data automatically updates from the console. I can open up the console and change the value of title by referring to the name of the Vue instance, which we named earlier Hello World. I can access and change the title property using dot notation. And you'll see that over here, the title changes instantly. Note that we're not working with a database or anything here, so this change will only persist until the page reloads. If I refresh the previous data, what I have coded into the file will reappear. I can create and bind as many data properties as I want to my template. Let's add a new property to the Vue instance called message. If you're following along with me, remember that this is an object, so you need a comma after your first data property. Now I can add the message property as a placeholder to my template. Save this, and we'll put the placeholder between paragraph tags. Here I called it message, so in my HTML, I will call it message. Save, refresh the browser, and you'll see my new data. You can see that instead of hard-coding my data into the HTML, I'm instead building a template containing placeholders that tell Vue where my data should go. Throughout the course, we'll see many examples of how useful this can be. Templating and data binding are used in one form or another in all of the popular front-end frameworks, so we'll explore a lot more of what you can do with them in Vue.